Hi guys, welcome back. So guys, have you seen the Eiffel Tower for real? Well, I have, and it's so beautiful. And recently I just saw one. I mean, look at this. Isn't this the beautiful Eiffel Tower? 90-degree up, 90-degree down. So steep, so tall. 2 days ago, I was saying that Chinese are just too good at diving. And I was so amazed how Yang could shoot up straight to the moon without landing. And 2 days later, back to the Earth. Crazy. Another good diver. So I guess you are seeing the news everywhere these 2 days about the Hang Seng Index growing like a rocket from the bottom. And it kept breaking the historical record for a single day of growth. That's how crazy it is. On Wednesday, it grew 1,600 points, and yesterday, again, 1,400. So 2 days, more than 3,000. 2 days wiping off all the huge dip for the past 8 days. That's super insane kind of rebound. I think no one have imagined this strong. So this was mainly driven by the Chinese SEC giving out the promise that they would do whatever it takes to ensure stability of the financial market and push for better cooperation between the Chinese and the US SEC auditing rule. This kind of settled down a lot of the uncertainties or a lot of the worry or panic that a lot of investors have with the delisting issue last week, saying they would be working harder and have more communication with the US SEC to try their best to reach some kind of agreement as soon as possible and come up with more clear rules or regulation about the foreign listed standard procedure and fully support companies to get foreign listing. So I guess this news did not say anything solid, did not come out with anything like new rule, new standard, but just giving a promise that they would try harder and work better with the US, and that's it. That's all it took. But I guess this is enough for a lot of investors to ease their mind and follow the signal that the Chinese government is giving out, even though there's nothing solid. And news like this also make a few Wall Street institutions also change their mind about the Chinese stock suddenly, 180-degree turn. And I guess that would include JP Morgan, who downgraded basically every single Chinese internet stocks 2 days ago when it was at the bottom, basically all of them, and at least cut them by half. But just the Chinese SEC saying something, it's enough for them to change their tone. Even though it was just 2 days ago when the stock had been driven down so much, they would say Chinese stocks is too early to buy the dip, right? So overall, the storyline is 4 weeks ago, major investment banks like from Credit Suisse to Goldman Sachs say it's time to buy Chinese stocks. That was 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, it was here, mid-February. And then what happened? Like I showed you last video, one bad news after another. Every day driving it down further, beating it down further. Because it was just so frequent, the bad news coming out almost every single day, giving us no time to breathe. The last one was the JP Morgan calling all Chinese stocks uninvestable. And then now, 1 day later, with one news that the SEC of China is going to support foreign listing companies. Boom, straight up to the moon. 3,000 points from the bottom. Historical run. And after the 2 strong days of rebound, right away we see Credit Suisse upgrades Chinese stocks to overweight, following a recent commitment by the country's policymakers to support the economy. When I saw this, I was like, isn't it obvious? Why is it even a news that is enough to change the attitude 100-degree like that, right? Because other than this oral promise, there is nothing solid that we can see. So pretty much for me, nothing has changed. So we can see that a lot of the big investment funds were bullish here and kept giving out bad news and downgrades here. And right now at this point, they're turning bullish again. This is why I always say I don't look at news to do any investment because it's completely useless and manipulative. We would only be swinging around as the last source of information. This to me looks like the whole battlefield between the long and the shorts, and the short sellers are going crazy, going on fire. From the top of my head, I'm guessing the Wall Street big dogs, and together with some people that has information from the insider, the high official of the government, together make up this whole drama. It's almost like a movie to watch. Quite dramatic, huh? And this is, again, the big dog had grabbed enough dip, closed their short position, and now, together with the Chinese government, teaching the Chinese stocks short sellers a painful lesson that you should never short our stocks. Because you can't, but I can. This is why on these few days, I was getting really suspicious. I said on the Discord that there were news coming out every day, and the index is speeding up to go downwards. It's like rushing to finish the sell-off before some kind of good news to come out. So a lot of people wonder right now, has the market really bottomed for real? And if you have bought the dip, should you sell right now? And if you didn't buy the dip, is it too late to buy, or is it better to wait? Now, I think this rebound, this strong, is a lot of short covering. And the power is beyond our imagination. I guess really too many people were shorting Chinese stocks. That's why if you zoom out, the volume was very large. It's usually a good signal to have this much volume. It means there is a huge change of hands from someone to others. So I'm guessing mostly the retail investors panic selling, and the big dogs who have information just keep saying, give me all the cheap shares. And after they finish grabbing the dip, enough chip they have, and then the powerful pullback. This is why usually towards the end of the big fall, it usually comes with huge spike of volume. So that is one of the bottom signal. So now the rebound had happened already. What do we look for next? The sure thing is, I do not think we're gonna see this movement and shoot it all the way back to 25,000 level. You know, at best, the best situation, it can climb up back to this platform back in December, so it can continue do the consolidation. Like we can wipe off this segment. That is the best situation, the most ideal case right now, and I think it's less likely. What I think is more likely to happen, if it's really turning good, I would expect it to move on the sideways for a while and trade in a trading range. Maybe it will give a second leg, a double bottom, or a somewhat deeper dip before recovering back up. That's a more preferable situation. So if you have missed the dip, I think it's not the end of the world. And the third scenario is for it to consolidate, move on the side, and then potentially might reach a lower low, especially if there is more systematic risk with the global financial market or some kind of geopolitical issues coming out of nowhere again, other black swan. I think this is the third scenario that might happen. So in any case, I think right now, after such a strong rebound, we should take the advantage of the recovering optimism to trim some of the positions, especially the dip we have grabbed during the last couple of days. They were all up so much already, so why not lock in some profit? For HSI, even though it has found the bottom, right now the problem is the global market. Do we see 100% certainty yet? And I would say I don't think we have passed all the troubles, all the issues that were bothering us before. I would say recently we have some more of an ease, but not completely out of the woods yet. So, and also HSI has been through such a heavy and steep and fast crash. The confidence is not going to recover that fast. Usually, after a crash, it takes time to recover, to build conviction again. So that's why I don't think it's going to be a V-shaped recovery back to 25,000 level. At most, I can see it coming up to about 22,000 something level. And right now, we are a few hundred points away. Is it worth it to risk buying in right now for a few hundred points versus all the other black swan news or potential threats coming in the market? I think it's not worth it. If we wanted to buy the dip, I've encouraged everyone to grab the dip before. Like 2 days ago on Tuesday, I call out to buy BABA at 74. And you can see the lowest BABA got to was 73. We almost caught the dip at the absolute bottom already. And after that, yesterday we had a 36% up, running up. When do you ever see a giant like BABA to run up 36% in one day? Never. I'm more than satisfied for this dip. If some of you had grabbed the call option, I believe it would be around 500 to 1000% up in one day. Very, very, very dramatic. But after this, and on Monday morning, when it was so much panicking, so fearful, I said, I think Chinese stocks should have a rebound relief. If not today, then maybe tomorrow. So don't panic sell. And you can see that most of the Chinese stocks had bottom on Monday or Tuesday. Some of the growth stocks like Xiaopeng, the stronger ones, have bottom on Monday and started the rebound already on Tuesday, the next day, earlier than the bigger tech. And last week I made the video. I said watch out for these opportunities. I went through many stocks on the list with you guys, and if you have used those support level to buy the dip, I believe the profit would have been huge already. I think at least 30 to 50% profit in a few days at least. And basically anyone on that list have made this minimum amount of profit, if not more. I mean, look at PDD from 23 to 43. That's almost a double, 85% up. So right now for HSI or the Chinese stocks, I think the best strategy is to keep buying low and selling after the rebound to lower the cost average and to try to grab the profit in between of this trading range. Like I said on Tuesday, right now we are experiencing a crash. The market is still very fragile. Confidence are a lot hurt with this crash, so it's not going to recover fast. So right now, I think the best strategy is to use the news as the opposite indicator, counter your feeling, your nature, and keep selling on good news and buying on bad news. Like these few days, we have good news coming out. Maybe it's good time to trim and wait for the next bad news, because come on, it's Chinese stocks. Why wouldn't we have bad news? I think if you're patient enough, you can wait until the bad news arrive to grab the dip, if you're brave enough. So do it for many times. I think your long-term position can lower the cost significantly. Right now, I think it's not the time to buy and hold for long. Let's see how these couple weeks or couple months go before we go long and heavy and not touch it. For me, if I need to give you a time frame, I would say somewhere between September and October. Maybe it would find the bottom there and start to have a big recovery. That's my hope or my optimism right now. Why September and October? Because there is something very important, is the continuation of President Xi. So if it's still uncertain that whether Xi can continue his presidency, I think the market is still full of doubt, full of fear, worries, and the market cannot grow like this. But once it's confirmed, I think the biggest issue is behind. Maybe it would have a better, healthier, steady run after that. Before that, I see it just moving up and down, a lot of volatility. Maybe going towards somewhere in July, we can see some small rally because it's the 25th anniversary of the Hong Kong returning to China. But for the more certain bottom, I would look for October or September, somewhere between this time. So I would decide then whether I can buy and hold for long term and not touch it. That's it. But a couple of weeks ago, I remember saying that right now we are at this critical point of this long-term trend line, and if it dips below that, we should treat it as a once in a 30 years opportunity. And I guess you won't believe it until you see the historical rebound for 2 days. This is indeed a once in a 30 years opportunity to go crazy like this. So in the last video, I asked you guys to leave me comments and tell me which stock you want me to give out the support and resistance. First one is NIO, obviously. So before I gave out the recommended buying range for NIO between 14 to 15, and it has dipped way below that. It got to the lowest of 13. So if you have grabbed the dip, there, congratulations. It is very good profit already. So NIO is still moving on this downtrend channel. This has still not changed. Few days ago, it had dipped below this channel, and right now we have jumped back on it. So I think it would be the similar thing for it to move within this range. To reverse the downtrend, it first needs to break out of this trend line. And for now, it looks like it would be half. And before then, we can only treat this as a rebound. And after it touched this trend line, it would act as a resistance again and maybe come back down. Whether if it's to make a double bottom or reach lower lows, we'll see then. So right now, the support should be around 16 to 17 and the resistance around 19.5 to 20 range. If it hits around 20, I think a lot of short sellers would open the short position again. Next is EH. Last time I said the last support I have for EH is around 10.8. It got broken for 3 days, and luckily it got back above quickly. So for the look of it, I don't consider it broken because it was a very quick dip. It did not stay below the support for a long time. So same thing. For now, 10.8 is still the support. And resistance is around 12. If this support is broken again though, I think it would go down to reach the next level. Someone asked me about Tencent. Last time I said it was closing at 297, so it broke 300 and it was exactly backtesting this green trend line, the 120 EMA. So I expected it to get supported, and after that it rebounded more than $100 from the bottom of 297. For now, go back to the daily chart, I do think it has rebounded to close to the level of resistance, which is this giant trading range that has been supporting it for almost a year already, around 410 to 420. And yesterday we got really close to it, maybe just 10 or 20 more dollars. So I think the risk reward ratio is really not that high here because it has broken the support. Unless it has gotten back to this trading range, then this would act as a support instead of resistance. Then there is a second chance for you to buy when it backtests, right? So that's why when my Discord member asked me about CWEB, I don't think the risk reward ratio is high right now when the big tech like Tencent and Baba are close to resistance. I said if you want to buy CWEB, watch out for the Baba support to buy. That's why I pointed out on Tuesday to buy Baba at 74. That was one of the lowest points for CWEB as well. It was around 3.9 when Baba was at 74. So from 3.9 to all the way 7.6, almost a double already. When I call out to buy the dip, that's when to buy the dip. And after it's run up, I think the risk reward ratio is not that high already. So maybe just wait for a pullback. And watch out for Baba and Tencent for reference. Someone asked about Palantir. So for Palantir, I said I bought the dip. On this day, the official news with the Russia and Ukraine war, Palantir reached the lowest of 9.7. I bought around 10. Right now, it's already 20-something% up, a little bit distance from the bottom already. So again, I would say risk-reward ratio is not that high. But the good thing is that it looks like it might have formed a double bottom. So you might as well just wait a little bit, like 1 or 2 more days to see if it can break out of this W-shaped bottom. If it really can break out, then you can still wait for the backtest back to this level to buy. If not, it would reach lower. Either lower lows, breaking this platform again, or form a trading range so you can buy at the support and sell at resistance. For now, support is around 10 and resistance around 12.4. So if you have other stocks in your mind, you can feel free to leave me a comment for me to analyze the support and resistance in the next video. For now, we call it a day and let's enjoy the big rebound, and don't forget to lock in some profit. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, please give me a big like and write me a great comment, and I'll see you in my next video. That's it, guys. Hope you can find my videos helpful. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and give me a big like. Thank you.